Welcome to your daily market recap where I give you all the day's news stories that you need to know about in less than 3 minutes. Alright, we have a lot to cover tonight, so let's go ahead and jump in. The US dollar index surged to a new high today. It was up about 1%. We had a bunch of other pairs that also hit their highs. USD or CAD hit a high of 1.367. That is the highest level since December of 2022. USD or JPY hit a high of 151.69. That is the highest level since November of 2022. On the other side of the spectrum, we had the Nasdaq decline 1.53%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also declined 1.39%. And then we had the S&P 500, which wasn't far behind that. It declined 1.35%. So what caused the dollar to be so strong today? Well, we had a bunch of geopolitical tensions that flared up. We had Russia. There were attacks in Russia. There were attacks on Moscow. So that caused a little bit of a risk-off move in the market. Safe havens like the dollar and the yen, they tend to go up when there's a lot of geopolitical tension. But the market really started selling off after the announcement from the Fed. When Jerome Powell came out and said that inflation is still a problem, even though the CPI numbers have been coming in cooler lately, he said that the Fed is still worried about inflation. And so they may have to keep rates higher for longer. And that is exactly what the market was pricing in. But now the market is starting to price in a little bit of a pivot, a little bit of a change in sentiment from the Fed. They thought maybe the Fed was gonna pivot, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. So that caused the sell-off in the stock market. We also had a lot of earnings reports today. We had Tesla. Tesla beat on both the top and bottom line, but their guidance was a little light, so the stock is down about 6%. And then we also had another big tech company, Applied Materials. They missed on both the top and bottom line and their earnings report, and their guidance was just terrible. So the stock is down about 8%. So those are the big stories for today. The dollar is getting stronger. The stock market is getting weaker. Geopolitical tensions are rising. That is all I got. Have a great rest of your day.